Hello, hello, hello. Hi, we are live. I was very late yesterday. I apologize. I'm currently eating my animal crackers. They are so good. I love animal crackers. um, yeah. So, today I wanted to talk about confidence. Come on in, come on in. Alright, last one. So good. So, if you don't know me, my name is Aysia. I am a project manager, certified project manager. I specialize in marketing and consulting for large concerts and events. I love all things personal development, marketing, money, mindset, wellness things. And in the space that I'm in, communication, sales, marketing, confidence plays a big part of that. Confidence is one of those things that you have to have in order to do business, to be successful in business. To put on a concert, to put on a large event, you have to have the confidence to put it up, to think it's going to go well, to showcase your talents. I deal with a lot of artists, and artists have to have the confidence to go up on stage, right? So today I wanted to talk about confidence and how important it is to have it, and if you don't have it, how to get it. Because everything can be learned. If you don't have confidence, you can learn it. And because we are on YouTube, the YouTube, you need confidence to get on YouTube. Even if you don't have it, you gotta fake it, right? Or you gotta at least put yourself out there, and then, as over time, confidence will come. Hey, Ahmad, how are you? I am well. I am doing good today. I tried to get on here early because I was very late last night. It was like 11 something. So today I wanted to talk about confidence because I know there are so many people that are kind of scared to get on YouTube. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why are you scared to get on YouTube? I am from Atlanta, Georgia. Well, that's currently where I'm at right now. So, hi. Hello, is it Mikhail? Hi, Mikhail. How are you? So, I wanted to talk about confidence today because it's hard for people to understand sometimes, but it can be learned, right? Confidence is something that can be learned, especially on YouTube. I have been on YouTube for, I want to say, three years, but I was probably on a lot longer than that before I started actually posting actual videos. But I've been posting consistently for 3 years. I have 3.6 subscribers, I want to say. Hello, Is it Tedrick? Yeah, hi. Okay, you like the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, yeah. Cool, cool, cool. So, confidence is one of those things that you definitely have to have, especially in the arena that I'm in. I'm in sales, I am in marketing. I deal with concerts and events, and I'm always dealing with artists. And artists are always, on stage, and you're having to thank you. Thank you, Kai. And so it's one of those things that you have to have, right? Especially if you are looking to get into like YouTube, right? You got to have confidence. You got to put yourself out there. You got to start. At least start. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was just some of the things that you can do if you don't have confidence, or if you're shy to the camera, or if you are nervous. We all start nervous, okay? I went to school for communication. So I've been in this area, in this space for a very long time. Shockingly, I graduated college in 2009. So I've been around for a while, and I went to school for broadcast journalism, and I loved directing. but I would be behind the camera. So when I had to do my internship and I had to get in front of the camera, I always kind of was very nervous. It used to be to a point where I couldn't say 2 and 3 syllable words because it was like we had senior semester where I was at. And senior semester means that it was like a newscast. So every day we would do a physical newscast, a 30-minute newscast. So we would get in at 9 a.m. or I think 8 or 9 a.m. and we would have our newsroom. So we would talk about 3 like different stories for the days. Like, okay, who's going to cover sports for the day? Who's going to cover reporting for the day? Who's going to do the anchor desk? Who is going to do directing? Hello, hello. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. You're watching from Los Angeles. Oh, wow. Are you okay? Are you safe? Please tell me you're safe, Kai. Is it Mikhail? Yeah, prayers out to you. Prayers out to everybody in LA because LA has been going through it. So prayers out to you. And so we were in senior semester and we would all take turns doing different things. So my favorite thing to do is directing, which is behind the scenes. However, when I was, every now and then again, we would have to do anchoring. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to be an anchor. I would be so nervous to get on camera and just talk. Now, mind you, there are just 2 cameras. You're talking out to people. Nobody's like except for the people who, you went to school with that are actually in the area with you. But it just seemed so like scary and so hard to do because I just wasn't used to it. But over time, you get better and you get better and you get better. And so that's essentially what it is. Everything takes practice. Everything takes time. Nobody does anything perfectly the very first time or even the second time or even the third time. I'm getting on live right now and I don't think I'm perfect. And I've been doing lives for a long time. I've been making videos since I started on TikTok in 2019. 2019, we're in 2024. And every now and again I'll go live, but I'll stop or I can do videos like this, right? But going live is a different energy. It's a different space. It allows you to really hone in on your skills. You really have to fine tune your skills, right? And then you also have to be mindful of your delivery and what you're saying and your hand gestures and your movements and how you are delivering. Are you taking breaths? Are you breathing, right? Deep breath in, deep breath out. Most people don't know that when they get really nervous, they talk really, really fast. And they say a lot of ums and ahs and And so, yeah, So when you do that, it takes away your credibility. So tip number 1, if you're taking notes about confidence, when you're talking to people, eliminate the filler words. That's what we call filler words. The ums, the ahs, the and like, and so, those are filler words. It makes you less credible when you use those. Instead of using filler words, you just say nothing. Okay? You just say nothing. And so what it does is it helps you gather your thoughts. It helps you sound clearer. It helps you sound more authoritative. Like when you read a book, there's an author. Why is there an author? The author gives you authority. So the same thing in public speaking, the same thing in talking on video. It gives you more authority when you take time to gather your thoughts. People don't expect you to just know something off the top of your head, right? If somebody asks you a random question, you say, good question. You can repeat the question back. You can say what I said, good question. Can you repeat that again? Allow them to say it again so that you hear it again, right? Then you can repeat it again. And then you can answer. But what that does is that gives your brain time to process what they said, right? It gives your brain time to analyze what they said, and it also gives you time to think about an answer. Instead of just saying, and starting to freak out and starting to panic. I just want you to take a deep breath. Good question. Great question. And then you ask the question again, or you have them repeat the question again. And then you say your answer. Yes, in principle, it's not bad. My parents are trillionaires. They immediately bought another house the next day. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're safe then, okay? I'm glad you're safe. All right. James Scott, I like filler words. Okay. Why? Why do you like filler words? Why do you like filler words? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Hello, private investigator. Okay. So when you have confidence, it gives you the ability to attract the people that you want. You just like to be yourself. Okay. Okay. And that's fine. You can be yourself. If you are talking in front of an audience, though, I'm just giving you a couple of tips that will be able to help you to get better in front of talking in front of people. That's all. So if you have confidence and you are okay with filler words, that's fine. However, I do want you to be mindful of the way that you think you deliver and the way that somebody else receives you may be completely different. Like you may be thinking that somebody understands you because of what you said, because it came out of your mouth. That may not always be the case though, right? So as you are talking, and if you want them to understand you, you have to ask them questions. You have to engage with them. And then you have to relay messages in the way that it'll be easily received for them. You don't care about the audience? How you not care about the audience? So what do you do for a living, James? Tell me. What do you do? What do you do, Kai? What do you do, private investigator? And do you have confidence? And what makes you have confidence? How are you confident? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. So when we were in the senior semester, we would all have different roles, and I hated being in front of the camera. However, I loved being behind the camera. I loved directing. I would be the one saying, you know, roll video, take video, cut to camera 1, cut to camera 2, cue up the anchor, you know. That was my favorite part. I always loved directing. I always liked being behind the camera. Never thought I would be good enough to be on camera. And then it just so happened that, you know, as time goes on, there are these things that just unfold for you in life, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I should try it. Maybe I should do something. And when TikTok came out, when Vine came out, I kind of looked at Vine, and Vine was kind of weird to me, so I didn't do it. But over time, what I realized is I enjoyed the little things on TikTok where you would, you know, play over somebody else's voice. And it kind of made me almost kind of like acting in a sense, right? Like I was kind of outside of myself. And I enjoyed that part. And so I did TikTok for a while, and then I dropped off for a little second. And then COVID happened, right? So then I got back on TikTok. And I had been doing videos for years. And then about 3 years ago, I decided to actually start a YouTube channel. So that's kind of how I got to YouTube. And I knew I wanted to do something. I just wasn't sure. But over time, being on YouTube allows you to express yourself. And one of the things that I like about YouTube is YouTube creators are very open and honest about what they're doing and how they're doing the things that they're doing. And right now, YouTube is really showcasing their small creators. They're really pushing them up, and you're seeing them in your feed a lot more than you used to. And I think that has to do with, one, because of TikTok, because of the banning of TikTok, if and when it happens. And then 2 is small creators who are obsessed with YouTube are always going to be on the platform. So if you're always going to be on the platform, why not showcase the people who are taking care of you, right? The people who are active on your page, who are actively on your channel, the people who are actively showing up on YouTube, why not reward them by promoting their content? It's a win-win, right? Because the more you promote them, the more they're on it, the more they're going to talk about how amazing your platform is. And then YouTube and TikTok are the only two platforms that I know of that you can literally make money from the actual app. Facebook and Instagram are okay, but that's something you have to put aside, right? You have to, hey, join my link, or you have to, and if you have 100,000 subscribers, then you can get a subscriber thing on Facebook. And then you have to get people to your email list, and you have to get people to your website, and you have to keep people to your landing page, and you have to get people off the platform in order to really make money with them or anything like that. And then you have to either have them do something in your DMs, or you have to send them to your, mini chats and all these extra things. Whereas YouTube, 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers, you're monetized, that's it. TikTok has a TikTok shop, you can promote from there. It's like almost like a modern day QVC, like a QVC TikTok shop is kind of, right? And so even on YouTube, once you get monetized and you can put your merch down there, people can buy your t-shirts and your mugs and your glasses and all that stuff. So YouTube is a good platform for all of that. Okay, let's read some comments. Generally, I don't care about the audience. I'm currently looking for a software developer job, but I've also recently completed an entrepreneurship degree. Congratulations, James. What kind of software are you looking to get into? And when you say software development, can you explain what you mean? Do you mean like certain apps? And when you say developing, are you developing them from like concept, like from the very beginning, or are you just kind of like tweaking? Is it kind of like IT? Are you developing like how it works, or just interesting. Hi, I am lonely. Long time no see. How are you? Are you feeling better? Hi, Chiefs. I went and saw my grandmother today. So sad. Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah, Chiefs. How have you been? How have you been? Programming websites and apps. Okay. Okay. Wow. And how long did it take you to complete your entrepreneurship degree? And you want to start your own business. Okay. And you can. You can. So if you were to start your own business, James, what would you name it? It's a struggle, but I'm pulling through. Yeah, we are sending you prayers, Chiefs, okay? We're definitely sending you prayers. I know that's tough. So, when you are, let me see, I did 3 years for my degree and then 16 weeks of coding. Oh, coding. You're welcome. You're welcome. Coding is, so I do a little bit of, I can't even call it coding because it's really just basic stuff, on the website stuff. So I went to school for project management, but I do some websites because that was kind of something I kind of trickled into. And so it's interesting because I went to school for communication, but I went back to school because they had one of the tech schools at the time had this, like, called it a quick job scholarship, where you could go back to school and take something within that technical college. And so I went initially for website. And the funny story is, when I started doing all the testing for it, I didn't get as high enough on the reading level that I needed to pass to get to the website stuff. And I was like, ugh. I felt a little defeated. I'm not gonna lie. I felt a little defeated. And I don't do well with standardized tests. And that is one reason I think I became an entrepreneur. That is one reason why I think I am good at business, because most of the people that I've noticed that are extremely successful tend to not do very well with standardized tests, tend to not do well with like the regular educational system. So I feel like I'm right in my area now. So okay, because creative people, it's hard to put in a box, right? So a standardized test like that, it just really is difficult for us to understand that stuff, because it's just so cut and dry. Oh, I don't know. I don't like it. So anyway, I didn't pass the test and I was kind of bummed about it. And so I was like, well, what else can I do? And so that's where project management came in. I had scored enough to go into project management. And so I did, and I went into project management. I didn't like that either. I didn't like that either, because I didn't like those tests either. And it was very cut and dry as well. And so it took me a while. I mean, I took that test. I want to say, I took that first time I took the test and I failed it. It was so bad. It was so bad. I didn't even get to the line. Like, there's a line, like, after you take the test, there's a line that'll tell you, like, whether you passed or failed. I was nowhere near it. So I was like, okay, no problem. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Asia, brush it off. I'll take it again. And okay, oh, I am lonely. Sorry, my phone died. Coding is very hard at the beginning. I believe you. Coding is not for the weak. Some people can't be boxed. Yes, some people cannot be boxed. You're absolutely correct. And so when I took it the first time, I completely failed it. So I was like, okay, I should do it again. Well, because I took the scholarship, this quick job scholarship, what they do is the first time you take the test, you don't pay for it. So I was like, okay, cool. Phew. Don't worry about that. Phew. Okay, it's okay. So I took it again. Failed it again. I was like, oh my gosh. What is wrong with me? And my brain just could not process that test. And at that time, what project management does is a new test every 2 years. So at this time, they were on the waterfall concept. Now they're on agile, but they were on waterfall concept back then. This was 2015, I think. 2015 when I started into the project management stuff. And I think I took the test. This might have been 2017, I think. Maybe 2016, 2017, something like that. And then I took the test again and I failed it. So that was the second time. Now, the second time I took it, the first time it was free. The second time you pay I can't remember. The fee was like $275. So these are not cheap tests by any means, okay? Project management test is not cheap at all. So I paid the $270, I think it's $275, and I failed it again. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm saying I'm getting irritated now. Like some parts of me is like, oh, because it was so nerve-wracking to me. Because I was like, I am smart. Why can't I not get this stuff? And it just something just wasn't clicking. Something just wasn't clicking. And so I was going to take the test again. Well, once I called the people at the project management, they was like, no, you need to let the test lapse. It's like, because if you take the test again and you take it 3 times within a year, they make you sit out a year. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Because I knew the test was changing, right? So I said, okay, well, then let me hold off. And the way project management works was every new test, you get a new book. So at this time, this was called the PMBOK 5. I can't remember what the PMBOK stands for. Don't ask me. I don't remember. PMBOK, but this was the 5th edition. So at the end of this test, they're going to get the 6th edition, right? So right now it's PMBOK 5. And so that's the one that I learned on. That's how I learned all this stuff. And at the time, most people you could take the CAPM. And so what the CAPM is the lower version of the test. Like you can take the project management test, which is the PMP, or you could take the CAPM, which is the lesser version. However, with the lesser version, when you take the CAPM, it's only valid for, I want to say, 3 to 5 years. It's valid for 3 to 5 years, and then you have to take it again, or you have to take the PMP. If you take the PMP and you pass the PMP, you're good. You don't ever have to take it again, but you do have to make sure that you renew your, they call them PDUs, personal development units. So as long as you pass the PMP, you just need to, every 2 years, you have to get at least 60 PDUs. And just make sure you stay up on your PDUs. And your PDUs are anything like reading books. You can do, like, as I'm talking to you live right now, I can go back and say, hey, I taught them about X, Y, and Z on YouTube Live, and I can get credit for it. So that counts as a credit. I can do volunteer work. I can just do, they call them SME, which is subject matter experts, right? I can do public speaking on stage. I can teach somebody a class. I can help somebody do something, right? Like, you can do all these things, and so that helps to add to your hours, to your 60 hours. And so because I didn't want to take the CAPM again, I didn't want to take the CAPM because I didn't want to have to do it again in 3 to 5 years, right? I'm like, I'm done. When I'm done, I want to be done with this. I don't want to have to keep trying to do this over and over again. So I had enough hours to qualify for the PMP. Now, the way I used my hours was I had went on tour with Tyler Perry. Excuse me. If you don't know who that is, he's really well known in America. He used to do a lot of plays. He used to do Medea plays. And so now he does a lot more stuff on network television. He does like the Have and Have Nots. He does Sister something. He has a lot of shows that he does on like BET and other platforms like that. And so I think he has, is it Zatima or Fatima, Zatima? He has a lot of shows that he does. He did, I think it was Alex Cross. And he just did something with Kelly Rowland not too long ago. It was a movie or something. I haven't seen it yet. Sorry. But anyway, so at that time he was still doing plays. And so I had enough hours between, I was doing some work between that and some other projects, and I was able to get all my hours. And in that particular arena, I think you needed 4,000 hours, or is it 4,000 hours? It was a lot of hours that you needed to get in order to be able to take that exam. And I knew at that time I needed to go ahead and use those hours that I had, because if I waited and took it again, I didn't know that I would have the amount of hours that I had to take the test again. So when the lady said, hey, if you take it 3 times in a year, you're going to have to sit out again. I was like, oh no, I cannot do that. So she said, okay, well, let it lapse. You took your 2, let it lapse, and then you can reapply. And then once you reapply, then you have the whole year to take the test again. I said, okay, that's fine. So after I let it lapse and I applied again. So this time when I applied again, now the test is 500 and I think it was $500. If I wasn't a part of project management they have an annual membership. If I wasn't a part of that, then it was $550, but if I was a part of it, then they gave me $50 off, so it was $500. That is an expensive test, y'all. $500, right? So the first time I took it, it was free. The second time, the retake was $275. Now, because I had to start all over again, it was $550. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I studied again. Okay, I'm studying again. You go to take the test again, and I fail it again. And I am distraught. I am so over this. I'm teary-eyed, right? I'm sad now because I'm like, I've taken this test so many times and I just don't know what else to do. And so this particular test, there was a line where they tell you exactly, hey, this is where you are on the test and this is how close you are. And so the third one was by far the best one that I had taken. And so the lady said, well, look at the lady who was taking the test, or at the place where I took the test. She said, well, look how close you are. You're so close. And I said, ma'am, you don't understand. I told her, I said, ma'am, you don't understand. I said, this is the last week of this test. I said, because if I wait one more week or 2 more weeks, I think, they were going to change the test again. Remember I told you every 2 years they change the test. So I was like, ma'am, you don't understand. She was like, but you're so close. She was like, take the night off, just breathe, just, just relax. It'll be fine. Take the test again. So I take her advice. I go home. I relax. I kind of, cry it out a little bit. And I say, okay. The next morning, I'm like, okay, let's do this. I want to say that was like a Friday or like a Thursday or Friday when I took the test. So I woke up that next morning. I said, okay, let's see if we can take the test again. So I log in to take the test because they have testing centers that you can take the test at. I log in and I look. That particular testing center is completely booked. There are no more spaces, and I had to take this test before the end of the month because when I took the test, I want to say it was early March. Well, April 1st is a completely new test. And I've studied for the last 2 years on this other test. I am not taking a brand new test, right? So I look in so that city, I cannot take a test at that location. Well, every testing center has a different area, but they don't have them multiple in one city. You have to change different cities. So I had to go to a different city. And I said, okay, I looked into a different city. It was about an hour and a half away. They don't have any openings. I'm like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, so then I checked a different city. This city is like an hour and 15 minutes away. They don't have any openings. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I've checked 3 places. They don't have any openings. So I said, I have one last shot. Let me check. And this was in Charlotte. At the time, I was living in Columbia. And I checked in Charlotte, and Charlotte had some openings. I was like, oh, thank God. Okay. So I scheduled the test. And I was like, okay, now I have to see if I can if I have enough bandwidth to study this test. And so one of the ladies that I knew at church, she helped me that night before. She came and helped. She met me at Bojangles that day. And we studied, and she helped me. And I had flashcards at that time. So we were going back and forth, and she was helping me with my flashcards. Then she actually gave me the money to pay for the test again. So the first time I took the test, it was free. The second time I took the test, it was $275. The third time I took the test was $500. And so now this is the 4th time I've taken the same exact test, right? So this time it's only $275. But she gave me the money to pay for that test. And she stayed with me, and she helped me practice that test all night long until like midnight that night. And then we prayed, and then she was like, Aysia, you got this. And I said, okay. And then next morning, I drove an hour up the road to Charlotte to take this test. And I'm just like listening to like gospel music, right? I'm playing all the songs, and I'm just trying to be calm and everything. And I'm just driving all the way there. And I drive there. And so you get there, and what they do is like they tell you to put all your stuff in a locker. You lock it up. They wand you down. Like, I don't know if y'all have had that experience, but nowadays when you take a test, they like wand you, and they check your glasses and all that stuff. It's like almost like prison type. It's like, I'm just taking a test, but they are serious about that thing. And the test that I was taking is a 4-hour test, okay? It's 200 questions. It's 4 hours. And if you were to leave the room, your time does not stop. So it's not like you can go to the bathroom and come back. And then if you go to the bathroom and come back, Imagine if there's a line of people waiting to get in. You got to wait for all of them to get wanded down first before you can even get back in and get to your test. So you don't want to play with that, right? For 200 questions, 4 hours. So it was a crazy test. Hey stranger. So it got to be like, it was just nerve-wracking. So I got up there and I started taking the test and I was like, "Oh my god. Okay, this is a little bit easier. Okay, I know this. Okay, I know this. Oh, okay, I know this and I remember this and I remember this." And y'all, that day was the best. I promise you, I felt like the best day of my life cuz I finally passed that test. And when they said congratulations, oh, everything. It was everything because I had worked so hard for that test. I had studied so hard for that test. And so it was just one of those moments of, oh, finally, 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 finally. So I know what it is to take the standardized test. And so that's why I say I do not particularly care for standardized tests because it just seems so draining to me, so daunting to me. And I've taken so many of them. I've taken the PMP, I've taken the SAT, I've taken the ACT, I've taken AP Bio, I've taken AP History, and I just like all the standardized tests that I've taken. I don't think I've done well in any of them because my brain doesn't function like that, like very logical minded like that. No, I'm a creative. I'm very much a creative. I'm very much in my own world, and I, like march to the beat of my own drum. So anyway, so yeah, so that's why I don't necessarily love standardized tests. But today we were talking about confidence. And so with confidence, you got to fail before you can succeed, right? You got to try and try and try again. And so part of me, actually I'm kind of grateful for the fact that it took me so long to pass that test because that just gave me more confidence, right? Doing something over and over and over again is the only way that you can get better at something. Nobody starts out great. Nobody starts out perfect. Nobody starts out knowing exactly what to do. It's only by starting something and doing it over and over and over again that you create that confidence and you build that confidence and you build that awareness and then you keep going. So, my tips for you for how to build confidence are to eliminate the filler words. So you are going to eliminate the ums and the ahs and the right? Just take them all the way out. If you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all. Because silence is very powerful when you are in an area of public speaking. When you are projecting your voice and you're talking with other people, silence can speak so loudly. And sometimes it may seem as though it's very hard to do because if you're not sure what to say or you're not sure how it's going to come across, you want to fill it with something. You want to be and you want to fill that space, you want to fill that gap. However, by saying nothing, it gives you more power, it gives you more authority, and it allows you to think first before you speak. Most people don't know what they're going to say right off the top of their head when you ask them a question, right? Or let's say if you're getting interviewed by somebody, you don't exactly know what to say right off the top of your head. So you need time to think about it. So take the time to process it, take the time to think about it, and then give your answer. And even though it feels like it's forever, it feels like an eternity that you're not saying anything, it's not as long as you think. You may be thinking that because you didn't have an answer, that it was 30 seconds of just blankness, and it wasn't. It probably was like 5 seconds, but it felt like 30 seconds. And so when you have confidence, you don't have to project and just spew stuff out. You don't have to just say anything. Take your time, compose yourself. Think about the question they ask. Think about your statement, think about your answer. You can ask them a question again. Can you repeat that? You can say, "Oh, good question. What would I do about this?" And then that gives your brain time to think about it. Take a deep breath. Breathe out, right? Because when you get stressed, when you get anxious, when you get overstimulated, you stop breathing, right? And when you start breathing, then your brain kind of shuts, like it kind of feels like it's shutting down because you're not giving it oxygen. So just breathe. Just breathe. It's okay. And you're not supposed to know everything all the time, right? So confidence just gives you that time to take a deep breath, step back, think about what you're going to say. And when you say something, think about it in terms of like 1, 2, 3. Like think about 3 things that you can say. Hey, repeat the question. Say, "Oh, great question." Repeat the questions. And then you can say, "Well, what I think is 1, 2, and 3. I do it because this, and this." And then you can wrap it up with a wrap up sentence, right? And that's why I do this. Or you can say something, you can say something funny, right? You don't have to, wherever you are in the, like, whatever, are you interviewing? Are you public speaking? Is somebody asking you a question? Are you in front of an audience? Are you on a live? Is it a one-on-one room? Are you on a date? Like whatever the question is, like just take the time just to breathe, think about it, and then answer. Nobody expects you to be perfect, right? But by being quiet and thinking about what you're going to say, it's going to come off a lot better than you just rambling and saying random words that don't make sense, right? So that's one way to have confidence. No filler words. Take breaths. Breathe, right? Formulate what you're going to say and then relay it. Say, "Oh, great question." And then you respond. Make sure when you are, another thing about confidence is your posture. So right now I'm sitting on the bed, but if I was, if I was in an area of, around people, I would sit up, right? Posture has a lot to do with confidence, right? Because if I'm down like this and my head's down like this, nobody's going to believe that I'm confident, right? Confidence has a lot to do with the way that you present yourself and what people see. If I see myself slouching like this, I'm not going to believe that you're confident. But if I'm sitting up like this, I'm going to believe that you're more confident. And also, the distance from your earlobe to your shoulder says a lot about how confident you are. Because most people who are confident sit up straight. They don't slouch, right? They sit up straight. And you know that they're confident in their delivery, in what they say and how they project themselves and how they look at you. They look you in the eye. They stop and they talk to you. They don't look down. They look up and they look at you. So that's another way of showing that you're confident in what you're doing, confident in your ability, right? And then also the way that your voice and your inflection of your voice. If you talk with a downward tone, that sounds like you're competent. People believe other people who are warm and who are competent. Warm means you're engaging with them, right? You're smiling, you're having good eye contact, you're using your hand gestures, you're using your body movements, right? I'm using facial expressions. That's how you know that I'm engaging with you. Now, competence is when I say something, I know what I'm talking about. I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you studies. I'm showing you where I learned these things from, right? I'm showing you from experience. I'm giving you data to follow. And I'm backing it up with something. so that you know that this is true, so that you know that I know what I'm talking about. But if I'm looking down like this and I'm like, yeah, I am really confident, you're not gonna believe me, because I can't even look you in the eye, right? So you're not gonna believe me in that regard. So confidence has a lot to do with more so nonverbal cues than even the verbal ones. So we talked about the verbal ones, but the nonverbal ones are just as important. Me sitting up, me talking to you directly, me looking at you in your eyes, smiling at you. But also, one other thing that I do want to say is that when you are confident and you are yourself, people are going to flock to you because you're authentic in your delivery. Like if I'm talking and I'm perfect and I'm overly perfect and I know all the cues, then I almost sound robotic. And that's where the AI part comes in, right? That's where AI looks weird, right? Because it's just too perfect in it. It doesn't like glitch or nothing, right? It's just too, like, there's not enough emotion, right? And so sometimes when you overdo yourself and you over practice, then you can come off very robotic, and you don't want that. So make sure that your delivery is authentic to you. Make sure you are smiling and you are engaging with your audience and you are talking with your clients or your customers or your YouTube fans. You're asking them, make sure you please like and subscribe. Please like the videos. Please share it with your friends. Make sure that you are just being yourself. At the end of the day, you still have to be yourself. And when you pretend to be something that you're not, people notice that too. So make sure that you're just putting yourself out there. It's going to be weird in the beginning. It's always weird. It's weird for everybody. It's weird for me. It was weird for me when I did it. It's still weird. It'll be weird for you too. But you can do it. I promise you can do it. I know you can do it. And so I'm going to jump off here. I have another call in a little while, but I wanted to give you some tips on confidence and to let you know that I am by your side. I want you to like and follow for more content like this. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know whatever questions you may have, what else you would like for me to talk about. Let me know. Like, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. So I am in the marketing space. I do a lot of concerts and large events. And I think tomorrow I want to talk more about some of those things, some of the things that I do in the concert, in the concert marketing space. So just let me know what you're interested in hearing about and what you want to learn. I love to teach. Okay, let's chat soon.